Michael here, looking at Psalm 78 for our devotion again today. This psalm, which may be subtitled, Tell the Coming Generation. And today we're focusing on verse 59 through to 62 for our exposition. Let's go ahead and read those 4 verses. When God heard, he was full of wrath, and he utterly rejected Israel. Verse 60. He forsook his dwelling at Shiloh, the tent where he dwelt among mankind. In verse 61. And delivered his power to captivity, his glory to the hand of the foe. In verse 62. He gave his people over to the sword and vented his wrath on his heritage. And as we turn to the treasury of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 59 again. When God heard this, he was wroth, and greatly abhorred Israel. Spurgeon exposits. When God heard this, he was wroth. The mere report of it filled him with indignation. He could not bear it. He was incensed to the uttermost, and most justly so, and greatly abhorred Israel. He cast his idolatrous people from his favor, and left them to themselves and their own devices. How could he have fellowship with idols? What concord had Christ with Belial? Sin is in itself so offensive that it makes a sinner offensive too. Idols of any sort are highly abhorrent to God, and we must see to it that we keep ourselves from them through divine grace. For rest assured, idolatry is not consistent with true grace in the heart. If Dagon sits aloft in any soul, the ark of God is not there. Where the Lord dwells, no image of jealousy will be tolerated. A visible church will soon become a visible curse if idols be set up in it. And then the pruning knife will remove it as a dead branch from the vine. Note that God did not utterly cast away his people, Israel, even when he greatly abhorred them, for he returned in mercy to them. So the subsequent verses tell us. So now the seed of Abraham, though for a while under a heavy cloud, will be gathered yet again, for the covenant of salt shall not be broken. As for the spiritual seed, the Lord hath not despised nor abhorred them. They are his peculiar treasure, and lie for ever near his heart. And verse 60. So that he forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent which he placed among men. So that he forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent which he placed among men. His glory would no more reveal itself there. He left Shiloh to become a complete ruin. At the door of that tent, shameless sin had been perpetrated, and all around it idols had been adored. And therefore the glory departed, and Ichabod was sounded as a word of dread concerning Shiloh and the tribe of Ephraim. Thus may the candlestick be removed, though the candle is not quenched. Erring churches become apostate, but a true church will remain. If Shiloh be profaned, Zion is consecrated. Yet is it ever a solemn caution to all the assemblies of the saints, admonishing them to walk humbly with their God. When we read such words as those of the prophet Jeremiah in his 7th chapter, trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these. Go ye now unto my place which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Israel. Let us take heed, lest as the ark never returned to Shiloh after its capture by the Philistine, so the gospel may be taken from us in judgment, never to be restored to the same church again. Verse 61. And delivered his strength into captivity, and his glory into the enemy's hand. And delivered his strength into captivity. The ark was captured by the Philistines in battle, only because the Lord, for the punishment of Israel, chose to deliver it into their hands. Otherwise they could have had no power at all against it. The token of the divine presence is here poetically called his strength. And indeed, the presence of the Lord is his strength among his people. It was a black day when the mercy seat was removed, when the cherubim took flight, and Israel Palladium was carried away, and his glory into the enemy's hand. The ark was a place for the revealed glory of God, and his enemies exulted greatly when they bore it away into their own cities. Nothing could more clearly have shown the divine displeasure. It seems to say that Jehovah would sooner dwell among his avowed adversaries than among so false a people as Israel. He would sooner bear the insults of Philistia than the treacheries of Ephraim. This was a fearful downfall for the favored nation, and it was followed by dire judgments of most appalling nature. When God is gone, all is gone. No calamity can equal the withdrawal of the divine presence from a people. O Israel, how art thou brought low? Who shall help thee now that thy God has left thee? In verse 62, he gave his people over also unto the sword, and was wroth with his inheritance. He gave his people over also unto the sword. They fell in battle because they were no longer aided by the divine strength. Sharp was the sword, but sharper still the cause of it being unsheathed. And was wroth with his inheritance. They were his still, and twice in this verse they are called so. Yet his regard for them did not prevent his chastening them, even with a rod of steel. Where the love is most fervent, the jealousy is most cruel. Sin cannot be tolerated in those who are a people near unto God. Trust you enjoyed the exposition, and be mindful that we keep God's favor as our treasure, and do most any and everything that we can not to incite his wrath. God be praised. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.